Welcome back, friends. Today we're diving into a real classic, juicy Bulgarian peppers stuffed with minced meat. This dish has been a heart of family tables for generations, filling homes with aroma that makes the whole village turn their heads. If you're loving these cozy kitchen vibes and want more family recipes and stories, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm here, slowly making my way up the rocks, taking in every detail around me. The way the sunlight filters through the leaves, the earthy scent of the forest floor, the gentle rustle of branches. It all reminds me why I love escaping into nature. I'm curious, friends, what's your favorite way to connect with nature? Do you love climbing, hiking, or just sitting quietly among the trees? Drop your answers in the comments. I'd love to hear your little adventures and stories. Meanwhile, my wife is carefully washing the eggs, preparing to start making the dough for today's dish. Dough is truly the soul of so many traditional recipes, holding memories of family kitchens and generations of cooks. The way you knead the dough can completely transform it. Gentle folds create a soft, fluffy texture, while strong, deliberate kneading builds elasticity. It's almost like a dance. Every motion matters. The choice of flour also changes everything. Locally milled flours carry flavors and textures that mass-market brands can't replicate, giving the dish a sense of place and tradition. Resting the dough is just as important as kneading it. Allowing it to sit helps the flavors develop and the texture become tender, ready to be shaped and filled into something extraordinary. Meanwhile, a truck just arrived bringing fresh soil. It's always exciting when new ingredients for the garden come in. Feels like the start of something big. I'm about to spread it out carefully. Good soil is the foundation for healthy plants and a thriving garden. It's what makes everything else grow strong. Returning to today's dish, we're making stuffed peppers wrapped in dough. This is a recipe that has traveled through generations, carrying the warmth and stories of countless family tables. It's more than food, it's a piece of history you can taste. Stuffed peppers have roots across Eastern Europe and the Balkans. Traditionally, people prepared them during harvest season, using fresh vegetables, home-ground spices, and whatever meat was available. In Bulgaria, these peppers became a symbol of home cooking. Families would gather in the kitchen for hours, celebrating not just a meal, but the act of cooking together, passing down skills and secrets from one generation to the next. Wrapping the peppers in dough adds a magical touch. The dough not only enhances flavor, but also protects the filling, keeping it tender and juicy. It turns a simple vegetable into a feast-worthy creation. In the past, grandmothers would make dozens of these for holidays, weddings, and Sunday dinners. Each family added their own twist. Some mixed in rice, others added fresh herbs or a pinch of spice, making every batch unique. In villages, these peppers were often baked in communal ovens. The scent would drift through the streets, inviting neighbors to gather, share stories, and celebrate the simple pleasure of good food and company. Today, making stuffed peppers in dough is less about survival and more about preserving tradition. Each pepper we prepare is a nod to the past, a taste of heritage, and a connection to those who cooked before us. Every family has its secret ingredient or method, a sprinkle of paprika here, a subtle hint of garlic there. These tiny touches transform the dish from ordinary to unforgettable, carrying the personality of the cook. The dish was practical too. Combining vegetables, meat and dough in one made it nourishing and filling, ideal for long days working on farms, forests, or in village homes. Every bite gave energy and comfort. Over time, stuffed peppers in dough became festive. They were served to visitors as a sign of hospitality, warm and fragrant, showing care and pride in every handmade piece. Now it's time to take a little tea break. There's something so comforting about sipping tea while watching the kitchen come alive with aromas and stories. I'd love to know. What's your favorite tea or drink to enjoy while cooking? Share in the comments. I'm curious about your little kitchen rituals. Well, the stuffed peppers are finally ready. I'm taking them out of the oven and just look at how beautifully they've turned out. Golden, juicy, and perfectly baked. Now comes the best part, tasting. I love how a dish like this instantly brings back memories of family meals and shared laughter around the table. A little tip. These peppers are amazing when served with Greek yogurt. The creaminess balances the spices and makes each bite even more indulgent. Honestly, you don't need anything else on the plate. Just a simple side of yogurt and you've got a perfect meal. If you enjoyed cooking and tasting along with me today, don't forget to subscribe. There's more family recipes and kitchen stories waiting for you. Today we're picking fresh elycha from the garden and cooking catfish with it. It's a tradition in our family to make jams for the winter, and we can't wait to share this cozy, homey day with you. If you're enjoying this cooking journey with us, don't forget to subscribe and join our little family here. There's so much more to explore, from garden picking to family recipes. Catfish has been a beloved dish in riverside communities for generations. Families would spend whole afternoons by the river, teaching children to fish, sharing old tales, and celebrating every successful catch together. In our family, catfish was always reserved for special weekends. After a long day of fishing with my dad and uncles, we'd gather in the kitchen, laughing and sharing stories while preparing this hearty meal. The seasoning we use has been passed down from my grandfather. He had a small garden, and each herb, from dill to parsley, was carefully selected to enhance the fish's natural flavors. Historically, catfish was considered a humble, everyday meal. But over the years, it became a comfort food that brought families together, a simple dish that carried warmth, memories, and the smell of home. Some cultures believed catfish brought good fortune and prosperity. That's why families often cooked it during celebrations or after a successful harvest, connecting food with hope and tradition. Smoking catfish was a traditional method to preserve it for winter months. The aroma would drift through the village, often drawing neighbors into impromptu gatherings, creating a sense of community around the meal. Preparing catfish is almost like a ritual. From cleaning it carefully to marinating it with herbs and spices, each step is done with patience, care, and respect for the food, honoring the generations who taught us these methods. Have you ever tried cooking catfish at home? I'd love to hear how you prepare it, or if you have any family traditions around this fish. Share in the comments. Meanwhile, I've already wrapped the catfish in foil and sent it into the oven, letting all those flavors meld together while we finish up the prep. Now I'm preparing tea with fresh alica, and soon we'll enjoy it with the homemade jam. Alica has been part of our family kitchen for generations. In some cultures, alica symbolizes abundance and health. That's why it's often gifted to friends and family during the harvest season. My grandma used to say that making alica jam was a way to preserve summer memories for the long winter months. Each jar felt like a little treasure. While the catfish is ready and I'm unpacking it from the foil, smells amazing already. Look at this beautiful fish, just perfectly cooked and ready to enjoy with our alica jam. And now my wife is pouring the alica jam into jars. There's something so satisfying about seeing it all neatly packed and ready for winter. Quick tip: to make sure your jam seals perfectly, heat the jars slightly before pouring. It keeps it fresh longer and avoids spills. My wife decided to prepare a fresh salad to accompany the catfish, using red onion and herbs straight from our garden. Catfish pairs wonderfully with light, fresh salads. The sharpness of the onion and the fragrant herbs balance the richness of the fish, creating a harmony of flavors that makes every bite memorable.
Ja, tusen himla.
In many culinary traditions, catfish is served with a squeeze of lemon or a drizzle of olive oil to highlight its natural taste. These simple touches bring out the subtle nuances of the fish without overpowering it. Now we're finally sitting down to eat, enjoying all the flavors we prepared today. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our cozy family cooking adventures.